Day and welcome again to another English language session. Today we shall be discussing everything CSEC English SBA. It means we are going to be looking at every aspect of the English SBA so that you'll be able to maximize those points for your CSEC examination. Okay, we'll be looking at areas such as the cover sheet, table of content, POI, that's plan of investigation, your artifacts, your reflections, 1, 2, and 3, your written report, and your oral presentation. I trust that you'll find this presentation beneficial. If you have found it to be so, remember to like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. The this presentation are as follows. To make students cognizant of the different components of the English language SBA. 2. To provide sample of the different components or areas of the English language SBA. And of course, to facilitate a better understanding of the English rubric so that students may maximize their marks, thus going to the exam with an advantage. If you have found this presentation to be beneficial, remember to like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. Language SBA portfolio should have or should contain the following: your cover page, your table of content, your plan of investigation, your artifacts, your reflections 1, 2, and 3, and of course your written report, an overview of your oral presentation, and your rubrics. SBA cover page given here, we see that the cover page, very important aspect of your SBA, right, should contain the following. 1. A picture that represents the topic of your SBA. And you are going to choose a photograph that, of course, depicts appropriately the topic of your SBA. And by your SBA, we're talking about your subtopic, right? The title or the subtopic, in this case, it's your subtopic that you're going to focus on. And of course, your name, your teacher's name, and the candidate's number, and your school center number. You will see here, based on the sample here, that the students has it in chronological order. So the name of the candidate is first, and the candidate's number. This is a number that you are usually given after you have registered for your CXC. Your parents have paid for your CXC, or your guardian has paid for your CXC, and you are given, the school is sent a number. If you're doing it privately, you're given a number, right? So that candidate number, and then the school, the name of the school center number, right? When you said school center number, we're talking here. So, and then territory, she has territory here, year of the examination, the theme, and the subtopic, and the teacher's name, right? So, but your cover page should have the following. Again, picture that clearly depicts, appropriately depicts your subtopic, title or subtopic, your name, your teacher's name, your candidate's number. Candidate's number is a must, so you need to leave a space for that, and your school center number. The table of content will outline in sequential order the items that will be in your English SBA, English language SBA, of course. Your table of content should have the following. 1. Acknowledgement. Now, your Acknowledgement is optional, right? If you don't have anyone to say thank you to, then you don't necessarily have to have an acknowledgement. That, of course, is optional. Some students have, some students don't, and the teachers, of course, do not penalize you for this. Plan of investigation artifacts, reflections 1, reflection 2, reflection 3, your written report, a brief overview or outline of your oral presentation, and of course your references. And you need to include as well your rubrics, and these can be placed at the appendix or at the back of your SBA, right? So I trust that that information was beneficial to you. Now we're moving on to the plan of investigation. Your plan of investigation, your POI, should contain the following information. A, your reason for choosing the topic and the selection of the title. B, expected benefits to you as a student of English. And C, proposal for collection and use of material. And of course, the use of the English language skills to be used in analyzing the material. So let's get more in depth where the plan of investigation is concerned. Investigation, first paragraph. The first paragraph of your plan of investigation should examine the reason for choosing the topic and the selection of your title. Let's examine the first paragraph of the plan of investigation of a student, Daniel Burnett. The topic of my school-based assessment (SBA) is corporal punishment in society. The subtopic I will be focusing on is the effects of corporal punishment. I chose this subtopic because many persons are unaware of the adverse effect of corporal punishment. Many parents around the world beat their children without knowing the physical, mental, and emotional scars it leaves. They believe it is the right way to punish their children, but I strongly disagree. I want to let them know how wrong corporal punishment is. Do you believe that she has provided the reason for choosing the topic? Are you able to do the same? Are you able to write your first paragraph of the plan of investigation? Plan of investigation first paragraph within 3 minutes. If you were able to complete that task, then state that you were in the comment section below. God bless you. I trust you were able to complete it. Investigation, the plan of investigation, second paragraph. Now, the second paragraph looks at the expected benefits to you as a student of English. Now, let us look at the sample that was given. As a student of English, I expect to improve my writing skills, reading, comprehension skills, and research skills by investigating and putting together this school-based assessment. I also expect to gain more knowledge on the negative ways corporal punishment affects people. This project will not only benefit me, but my peers, family, teacher, and other people around me. This is because I will be sharing my knowledge with them. They will have the opportunity to make the necessary changes or adjustments in order to put an end to corporal punishment and use more effective ways to punish and discipline children. All right? Are you able to write your second paragraph? Let's see. Investigation. Now, the third paragraph is a combination of the C and D, point C and D, as was previously discussed. C, the proposal for collection and use of the material, and D, the use of the English language skills to be used in analyzing the material. Now let us examine the sample that was given. I will be collecting information by using images from the internet that are geared towards my subtopic, as well as a passage from the journal entitled Caribbean Journal of Psychology, Volume 9, under the topic Corporal Punishment and Physical Discipline in the Caribbean, Human Rights and Cultural Practices by Barbara G. Landon, Rebecca Wolf, Lauren Orlando, and Randall Walters, and a song called Corporal Punishment by Mighty J. I will be using the information gathered creatively in my oral presentation and to write my written presentation. I will be utilizing my interpretation skills, writing skills, and grammar skills in assessing the information collected. Here you have it, okay? Did she answer the two items? Proposal for collection and use of material, use of the English skills to be utilized in analyzing the material. Let us look at it. Notice that she has mentioned the three sources or artifacts that she will be utilizing. One is a journal, because one of your sources has to be a print. And of course, she mentioned the song by Mighty J that she will be utilizing, and also images from the web or the internet. I trust that you are able, based on this sample, to write your own third paragraph. If you have found this information beneficial, remember to like, share, tell a friend, and subscribe. Let's move on now to the artifacts. English SBA, you are required to have three artifacts or sources or material. One of your sources or artifacts must be a print source. Now, that print source can be a newspaper article, a magazine article, an extract from a book or journal. It can be a poem. It can be something that has been documented, educational research, advertisement, pamphlet, brochure. It's up to you, right? And then, of course, you can utilize images from the web that, of course, appropriately supports your subtopic. You can use pictures, images, or blogs or podcasts, interviews, right? You can also use cartoon scripts. You can also use advertisement. So you have a variety of choices. And of course, you'll have to narrow your choices and ensure that the artifacts that you have chosen are appropriate to your subtopic. Okay, it must be in keeping with the subtopic that you're looking at. Look at the sample that is here. Note the young lady is looking at corporal punishment and the disadvantages and the adverse effect it has on children in terms of physically, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. And you would see that the images that she has chosen here from the web are appropriate in keeping with your subtopic. I trust that this information was beneficial to you. Also, remember that one of your sources must be a print source. Reflection 1 and how it should be written. Here is a sample written by a student. As I reflect on my subtopic, the effects of corporal punishment, I am more aware of how much corporal punishment negatively affects children and teenagers across the globe. The journal, Caribbean Journal of Psychology, under the topic Corporal Punishment and Physical Discipline in the Caribbean, Human Rights and Cultural Practices, focuses on the prevalence of corporal punishment in our Caribbean society and reviews it through the aspect of socioculture. The journal highlights some of the negative effects of corporal punishment have on children, such as increased aggression, fear, mental health problems, insecure parent-child attachment, and increased violent and criminal behavior. As a victim of corporal punishment myself, I was very sad and angry when I discovered this. This is because adults continue to beat children without really caring about how they are slowly destroying them. This awareness of the effects of corporal punishment has caused me to reflect deeply on how I behave and the reason I behave the way I do. As a result of reading this extract, I am more tolerant of my peers who behave in an aggressive manner. So we're going to now look closely at how one can tackle the reflection one. Remember that the reflections must be written in 150 words. So each reflection one, 150, reflection 2, 150, reflection 3, 150. So all of the reflections in totality is 450 words. Okay, so reflection 1 is very different from reflection 2 and also reflection 3. So we're going to look at what should be in reflection 1 and how you should approach reflection 1. In writing the reflection one, you are required to examine closely your sources. You are expected to 1. Briefly comment on how each source has impacted your thoughts or thinking about the subject matter of your SBA. Focus on your subject matter or subtopic and not the group's topic here. Let's look at the example given. As I reflect on my subtopic, the effect of corporal punishment, I am more aware of how much corporal punishment negatively affects children and teenagers across the globe. Writing the reflection one, you are required to examine closely your sources. You are expected to provide a brief outline of the content of the sources. Provide a synopsis. Do not be verbose. For example, the journal Caribbean Journal of Psychology under the topic corporal punishment and physical discipline in the Caribbean, human rights and cultural practices focuses on the prevalence of corporal punishment in our Caribbean society and reviews it through the aspect of cultural. The journal highlights some of the negative effects corporal punishment have on children, such as increased aggression, fear, mental health problems, insecure parent-child attachment, and increased violence and criminal behavior. And here you can see where the young lady provided a synopsis of what the article was about, right? Or the journal was about, okay, right? So here you're to be brief, provide just a synopsis, right? And so on. And then, of course, we get to the third point. Section 1. Thirdly, you are expected to state in your own words how the sources made you feel. Use emotive language. Note the sample here. As a victim of corporal punishment myself, I was very sad and angry when I discovered this. This is because adults continue to beat children without really caring about how they are slowly destroying them. The emotive words here: sad, angry, destroying. This awareness of the effects of corporal punishment has caused me to reflect deeply on how I behave and the reason I behave the way I do. And so here we see where this has caused the child to do some introspection. Are you now able to write your reflection one? Let's continue. In writing the reflection one, you are required to state whether or not the knowledge gained will affect your future action as your thinking change. Okay, this awareness awareness. Let's look at the sample. This awareness of the effects of corporal punishment has caused me to reflect deeply on how I behave and the reason I behave the way I do. So we see some introspection that has affected our future actions. Okay, good. As a result of reading this extract, I am more tolerant of my peers who behave in an aggressive manner. So this extract has enlightened her as to the issues, as to the fact that corporal punishment is responsible for aggression in children, and as a result of that, she is more tolerant of her peers who behave aggressively. And so remember that you are to look at all 4 points for each of your sources. And so what I would recommend is that you place each source in a different paragraph, attack or tackle, or look at closely, examine closely each source in a separate paragraph. And so overall, your reflection 1 should have about 3 paragraphs. And of course, the word limit for reflection 1 is 150 words. I trust you have found this information beneficial. Let's move on to reflection 2. Looking at reflection 2. Reflection 2. What should it contain? Let's look at it closely. Reflection 2 should 1. Contain the use of language in each source. What type of language is used in each source? Does the writer or contributor use emotive language, descriptive language, persuasive language, or narrative language? Number 2. Does the language used in each piece or source help to bring across the writer's message or purpose? And thirdly, does the language used enhance and advance the writer's intention? Let's look at the sample given for reflection 2. Reflection 2, and it reads, the journal extract was written on the basis of a thorough research in the formal register using the scientific terms neuroscientific, biological, and neurohormonal to describe the effects of corporal punishment on the body. The authors clearly explain the behavior of the victims of corporal punishment with the descriptive words aggressive, insecure, and antisocial. The tone of this piece is formal, concise, and very informative. The use of words in this material shows evidence of research. It also reveals the writer's intelligence, competence, and professionalism. Let's see if she subscribed to what was expected of the reflection 2. Reflection 3 is usually written when you have completed the entire English SBA research. Reflection 3 provides a synopsis of how conducting the research has made you a better individual. Now, when one thinks of betterment or improvement, right, they can look at it from various aspects, from the academic standpoint, from a social standpoint, from a psychological, or even a mental or emotional standpoint. So let's get into how to write your reflection 3 for of your English SBA. Writing your third reflections, you may want to consider how you're going to look at how it has enhanced you or improved or benefited you or made you a better individual. You can look at benefits from an academic standpoint. How has it benefited you academically? In looking at it from an academical standpoint, you can look at how it has enhanced your writing skills. In conducting the research, has it made you a better writer? Has it made you a better writer? Are you able to organize or structure or arrange your ideas better as a result of this research that you have done? Has it enhanced or improved your interpretive and investigative skills? Are you able now to analyze different forms or types of materials, language techniques, and comment on their effectiveness? Has your vocabulary been improved? Did you learn any new word or terms that were relevant to your research? Has the research made you more informed? When we think about how the research may have affected you generally or socially, we are speaking specifically to your social and interpersonal skills. Did you learn how to effectively operate or function within a group? Did the research improve how you relate to members of your group? Then, when we think about how it may benefit you psychologically or mentally, were your perceptions on any issue or topic altered? And did that alteration affect how you will interact or socialize with others in the future? Topics such as suicide and its impact on family life may look cause you to view this serious topic differently, may cause you also to look out for the red flags that are there sometimes hidden when persons are suffering from depression, right? Emotionally, how has the research impacted or affected you? Has the research caused you to be more empathetic or sympathetic to others? Right? So these, when we talk about improvement, we can look at improvement from an academic standpoint. We can look at improvement or betterment from a social standpoint, psychological or mental, or even emotional standpoint. Okay? It's up to you, but do remember that the reflection must be written in 150 words. Reflection 3. The process of doing this school-based assessment, SBA, has taught me a lot about how greatly corporal punishment affects growth in children. It has helped me to do a lot of reflecting and self-evaluation. It has also helped in developing my research skills and writing skills. Investigating my subtopic, the effects of corporal punishment, I had basic knowledge of the consequence of corporal punishment. I knew that flogging children cause increased aggression and violence and may destroy the relationship between child and parent. But now I know much more. The process of collecting, interpreting, analyzing, and putting together this school-based assessment completely changed my outlook on punishment and discipline. I am cognizant of how flogging children ruin their interpersonal, mental, and emotional growth. I now strongly believe that corporal punishment is a bad way of disciplining someone, and the best way to do so is positive guidance, gentleness, and non-violent methods. Okay? Notice that we see where our perception had changed, okay? And so in writing your reflection 3, you must look at how it has benefited you, maybe from a psychological standpoint, as you see that she alluded to that, and how it has changed or altered your way of thinking, right? And so here it is. I trust that you understand. You see where this reflection 3 is going, and I trust that you understand how to write your own reflection 3. God bless you. Let's proceed to the written report. The written report. The written report. Each member of a group will include the same written report in his or her portfolio. The group report is assessed for an identification of the contents in which the pieces were chosen, a description of the task done in selecting the materials, and a list of the material, an appropriate citation of sources, and use of language. The written report of the investigation should be a summary of the processes, procedures, and outcomes of the research. It should include the material collected, reasons for the selection, and the analysis of the material. A satisfactory report should be about 250 to 300 words in total. It is worth 10 marks. As a result of this, students should know the ins and outs of writing an effective written report. What should be in the written report? In your introductory paragraph, you should state the theme that the group has selected and how this was done. Also, identify the topics that the group members are focusing on. In your second paragraph, you should summarize how you worked as a group to select the 3 pieces for the report. Share strategies that were used to do so, and then explain the reason for the selection of these pieces. Now, remember that as a group, each of you would have had 3 artifacts or material or sources, but for the written report you're only selecting 3. So if your group consists of 4 individuals, that would be, you would have had a total of 12, but of the 12 you're selecting only 3. If your group consists of 5 individuals, you would have had a total of 15 artifacts, and you're only selecting as a group 3 of these artifacts. In your third and fourth paragraphs, you should analyze the selected pieces, right? And highlight what they communicate about the theme. Appropriate referencing should be used when citing sources. For example, Ireland 2017 states that skin bleaching should be approached cautiously. Your teachers will provide information on citing sources. Also, you can discuss how the content of the pieces impacted the perceptions or attitudes of your group members. Remember, consult with your teacher, write the report, do some research on the written report. There is much information out there on the web, and so you need caution. Caution must be taken when selecting the information, and of course you're going to select information that is relevant to your report and your group. Okay, I trust that you found this information beneficial. This sample written report. The first paragraph reads: the main topic of our school-based assessment is corporal punishment in society. As a group, we met, discussed, and broke down our topic into 4 subtopics. Should corporal punishment be implemented in homes? Is corporal punishment the right means of punishment? Should corporal punishment be done in schools? And the effects of corporal punishment. The second paragraph of the written report. Our teachers suggested a few topics in class, corporal punishment being one of them. After working on making it a little more specific, we settled with corporal punishment in society. Each of us came up with a reason for choosing our individual topics after we took some time to think about our main topic. The reason varied from just wanting to explore a certain aspect of corporal punishment to wanting to be more cognizant about the issue. The third paragraph of the written report. Each member was assigned the task of gathering materials geared towards their subtopic. We searched the internet for various types of materials, print, audio, and visual, so we could implement different skills to properly analyze and interpret different types of sources. Each member chose their specific pieces for different reasons, to have different points of view, to have information that can be easily accessed, and to find artifacts that gave information about their individual topic. Now, for the third paragraph, marks were deducted here from this written report, this sample, in that for the written report, you must outline the three artifacts or sources chosen. Okay, and so this group did not, but in writing your third and fourth paragraph, you must outline the three sources or artifacts that were chosen, right, and your reason for the selection, and also comment on how it has impacted you as a group. Okay, I trust that you have found this information beneficial. Consult again with your teachers on how to write the written report. Go online, view some samples, and trust that this information was beneficial to you. Let's proceed now to the oral presentation and overview of the oral presentation. Presentation, which is marked out of 10, may be done using one of the following forms: a poem, a song, a speech, or a drama. Let us look at what should be in your overview of the oral presentation. An overview of the oral presentation. What should be in your overview or outline of your oral presentation? One, your group's topic or subtopic. Two, the form used to present your information on the topic, whether it be in the format of a poem, a song, or drama, right? Thirdly, the language used, whether it be standard English or Creole or a mixture. And finally, language techniques employed in your form and why you have chosen these techniques. Oral presentation written by TB. My oral presentation is a poem called You Made Me, written in the first person point of view. The poem outlines the life of a child who grew up in a society where corporal punishment is normal. The persona expressed his thoughts and feelings about the corporal punishment as a child, where he was hurt and confused about why adults beat children at home and school. He felt fear, pain, bewilderment, and later resorted to bullying his classmates because he thought it would help get rid of the anger. The thoughts and actions of the persona changed in fifth and sixth stanza as the persona became an unruly, delinquent teenager who was involved in violence, gambling, and smoking. He no longer interacted with his family and his grades plunged. In the last stanza, the persona point out that he was the most feared criminal because of the harsh punishment he experienced as a child. The poem highlights the effect of corporal punishment on children's and on the child's personal growth in life. The title of the poem, You Made Me, is the persona telling his parents and other adults who disciplined him as a child that their actions influence his behavior. I use a few figures of speech in my poem, personification, simile, onomatopoeia, as well as emotive language as so my audience can experience what the persona feels. Remember that your overview of your oral presentation is not your oral presentation, right? Do you believe that she has done justice to the oral presentation overview? Um, Remember that your oral presentation is graded separate and apart from the overview. So your oral presentation grade will be attached and will be to your SBA and will be a part of your rubric. Okay. Now let us turn our attention to the rubric. Your English ASB may be downloaded at www.csec.org. Each component of your SBA as a rubric. It is essential that students view these rubrics so that they may be able to examine how the marks are allocated to different sections of the SBA. Your English SBA is marked out of 45 marks. Here's a sample of the overall rubric. Marks for different sections of the English ASBA. The plan of investigation the mark allocated is 5 marks. Participation measures, 5 marks. Quality of group activity, 10 marks. Written report, 10 marks. Reflection, 5 marks. Oral presentation, 10 marks. So you see where the marks are distributed. Now the plan of investigation, of course, mark out of 10, but divided by 2, and so that's how they arrive at 5 marks for it. Participation measure, or well you work as a group, did you know what was required of you, and all 5 marks. Quality of group activity, 10 marks, okay, right? Again, thinking of group work, right? In-depth analysis of you working as a group, and that's 10 marks. Written report is 10 marks. Remember also that the written report, it's one report for all members of the group. All members of the group should have the same report, and that's 10 marks. Reflection, although you have reflections 1, 2, and 3, it's just given 5 marks, okay, right? And then the oral presentation, 10 marks. Please ensure that you follow the guidelines given and maximize your points. God bless you. I trust that you have found this presentation beneficial and that you are now on your way to getting at least 40 out of the 45. God bless you. All the best to you. If you have found this presentation beneficial, remember to like, share, tell a friend, and subscribe. God bless you.